Late that fateful evening, as the wind whispered its secrets through the eaves of our old house and the clock ticked past midnight, a subtle vibration disturbed the silence of our shared sanctuary. I had always believed in the solidity of our marriage, in the mutual trust that had been built over years of quiet evenings and thoughtful exchanges. Yet that night, an unexpected pulse emanating from a mystery device shattered the calm. Hidden among the folds of forgotten memories tucked away in an old wooden drawer behind a stack of black and white photo albums lay a phone I had never seen before. Its screen was locked, its contents securely hidden behind layers of encryption, and a sense of foreboding immediately took hold of me. With each heartbeat echoing the rhythm of growing uncertainty, I picked up the phone as if it were a fragile relic of another life, one that belonged not to me, but to someone I thought I knew completely. In the dim glow of the desk lamp, I began a slow exploration of this intruder in our domestic life. The device revealed itself to be more than just a forgotten gadget. It was a silent witness to a hidden reality that had been carefully concealed. The texts it contained were cryptic, their words arranged in a jumble of aliases, dates, and locations that made little sense at first glance. Each message I deciphered seemed to pulse with an eerie vitality, hinting at secrets too potent to remain buried under the comfortable surface of routine marital bliss. Every new notification I uncovered felt like the unveiling of another layer of an onion, an epiphany that etched confusion and pain into my soul. My mind raced back over the past decade, the laughter we shared over dinner tables, the quiet understanding in our glances, and the plans we built together for the future. How could all those moments belong to a life so divergent from what these messages now hinted at? There appeared to be an intricate web of digital footprints, meticulously organized yet shrouded in deliberate secrecy. With trembling hands and a heavy heart, I began to piece together the timeline that stretched far beyond the boundaries of what I had ever known. The phone not only revealed secret exchanges but also began to illustrate the existence of another persona, a hidden life that operated parallel to the one I had cherished for so many years. As I scrolled through a cascade of unfamiliar names and coded messages, the air around me seemed to thicken with tension. I found timestamps that did not correlate with the routine of our shared life, late-night rendezvous, hurried messages in the early hours, and a curious absence of any connection to our family calendar. The messages hinted at clandestine meetings, plans made in hushed tones, and rendezvous held in secret corners of a city that I had only ever glimpsed through his casual comments. The stark disparity between the man I knew and the man he portrayed in these digital exchanges was jarring. Every piece of text felt like a puzzle fragment from a picture that, once completed, would redraw the contours of reality in horrifying detail. I began to trace the origin of each coded message, each suspicious contact that the encrypted phone housed behind layers of secrecy. The process felt like following a breadcrumb trail laid out by fate itself, a trail that spiraled deeper into the labyrinth of hidden lives and concealed desires. There was a particular message, dated to a time when I had been far away from home on a business trip, that mentioned a location I had no memory of visiting with him. This anomaly caused the first ripple of doubt to break the surface of my certainty. It was as if the digital chatter of this mysterious device was not only communicating an alternate world but also mocking the life I had once taken for granted. Each discovery built upon the previous one, and soon the once familiar narrative of our shared past began to crumble, revealing a shocking tale of secrecy and betrayal. Every revelation that emerged from that obscured phone filled me with a mix of disbelief, anger, and sorrow. I felt suspended in time, caught in a limbo between the trust I had long held dear and the stark, disorienting reality that now unfolded before me. My eyes skimmed over long lists of contacts, cryptic references, and even photos that had been stored away without my knowledge. Each image was a silent testimony to a life lived in parallel, a life that had been hidden from my view, meticulously recorded by messages that painted a vivid picture of a world unknown to me. The images were blurred by time and secrecy, but within each one lay the unmistakable imprint of intimacy, adventure, and moments that had taken place far away from the realm of our shared home. A haze of confusion and heartache settled firmly in my mind as I attempted to connect the disparate dots spread across the timeline of these messages. The more I delved into the digital archive, the more it seemed that my husband had been living a double life, a life that was as vibrant and tumultuous as it was furtive and shrouded in mystery. Every new clue forced me to confront the uncomfortable possibility that the man I had known for 10 long years was, in fact, two different people. On one hand, There was the gentle, affectionate partner who had built a life with me on a foundation of shared dreams and genuine affection. On the other, there emerged an enigmatic stranger whose secret escapades were recorded in the very device that now lay in my trembling hand. In the days that followed, an internal battle ensued between the desire to confront the truth head-on and the instinct to retreat into self-denial. Every moment spent poring over those encrypted texts was accompanied by an undercurrent of dread, a dread of facing a reality too painful to comprehend. How could someone be capable of compartmentalizing life so thoroughly that two worlds could exist in parallel? The realization that some secrets, no matter how deeply buried, could eventually claw their way to the surface was both a torment and a revelation. I found myself questioning the very foundation of what I had believed in: trust, loyalty, honesty. The digital evidence was irrefutable, yet the thought of confronting the man I had loved for so long left me paralyzed with fear and sorrow. The dark nights turned into a series of agonizing, sleepless hours as I weighed each piece of evidence against the life we had built together. Every photo, every timestamp, every fragment of conversation added another layer of complexity to a narrative that I was desperate to decipher. In the quiet moments of reflection, the true extent of the betrayal began to emerge. There were times when the messages hinted at secret rendezvous that were as beautifully poetic as they were devastatingly real. Details of unfamiliar gestures of affection, plans laid out with meticulous care, and promises made in moments of vulnerability created an ironic tapestry where love and deceit danced side by side. The painful realization grew slowly but inexorably. The stranger behind the encrypted messages had been living under the same roof I had trusted, no matter how much I had wished otherwise. To complicate matters further, each digital clue was imbued with a sense of forewarning, a silent acknowledgement, almost as if the device itself had been preparing me for the inevitable collision of two worlds. It became clear that the encrypted phone was not accidentally discovered. Rather, it was destined to play the role of a hidden messenger, exposing the layers of deception that had defined the last decade of my life. In the midst of this swirling maelstrom of emotions, I found myself grappling with an overwhelming question. Was it my imagination that had been deceived all these years? Or had I truly been cohabiting with a stranger who wore the mask of a familiar face? The digital trail, with all its cryptic intricacies, did not confirm a single possibility. It simply pointed toward an uncomfortable truth that demanded to be acknowledged. At a point of no return, I resolved to trace the origins of the messages even further. The burning need to understand the full scope of this duplicity propelled me into a meticulous investigation, combing through every piece of digital evidence stored on the second phone. This painstaking process led me down corridors of encrypted data and into the silent spaces between words, spaces that resonated with secrets and hidden truths. My journey through this maze of text and images was accompanied by a growing sense of inevitability. I knew that, eventually, all the pieces would come together, irreversibly stitching a picture of betrayal that I was ill-prepared to accept. With every new discovery, my inner world shattered a little more, and the comforting illusion of our shared past began to recede into a distant, unattainable memory. The final confirmation of a divided life arrived subtly, like a shadow passing over a moonlit night. Through a sequence of digital breadcrumbs, I uncovered a message that referenced a meeting at a specific cafe, a place that my husband had casually mentioned in passing. Yet I had never associated with any significant memory of him. The text, cryptically worded yet heavy with implication, made it unmistakably clear that his presence in that locale was not sporadic or incidental. It was a recurring event, one that had been documented time and again in the hidden folders of the second phone. The realization that he maintained an alternate set of relationships, a separate life marked by clandestine encounters and whispered promises, struck me with the force of a tidal wave. In that moment, the comfort of the past was irrevocably shattered, replaced by an aching void of betrayal and disillusionment. Emotions that had long been kept in check erupted like a storm in my chest as the full magnitude of the revelation unfolded. I became painfully aware that everything I had held dear was built upon a foundation of secrets, each one as corrosive as the digital evidence before me. The digital trail did not merely reveal isolated incidents. It painted a picture of a life that was meticulously safeguarded from my eyes, a life filled with choices and actions that were deliberately hidden. As I stood before the silent, accusing screen of the unfamiliar phone, I felt the weight of a decade's worth of trust shatter beneath the relentless affirmation of betrayal. The shock was not only in the discovery, but in the slow, creeping certainty that some people, even those we love, may harbor entire worlds within themselves that are inaccessible to those closest to them. In the ensuing days, the inevitable confrontation loomed like a specter over our home. The tension in the air was palpable, a quiet dread that seeped into every corner of our once harmonious life. While the digital evidence laid bare a truth I could no longer ignore, the prospect of facing the man behind it provoked a maelstrom of conflicting emotions. I was caught between a desire for answers and a paralyzing fear of the confrontation that would follow. Every step I took toward resolution was imbued with the knowledge that some secrets, no matter how deeply concealed, eventually demand to be brought into the light, even if that light scorches the soul in the process. The moment of reckoning came in a quiet, overcast afternoon when silence reigned in our home as heavily as the secrets it concealed. The very ambiance of the day seemed to echo the internal turmoil I experienced. The cloudy skies, the distant rumble of thunder, and the unspoken heaviness of the air formed a backdrop for the culmination of years of latent deception. In that charged atmosphere, the silent narrative of the second phone took center stage, demanding acknowledgement and confrontation. The carefully built facade of our marital bliss had, in that singular moment, given way to an undeniable truth, one that separated the life I thought I knew from the shadowy, hidden existence that had flourished in its wake. As the hours slowly edged toward an inevitable confrontation, the digital whispers of the secret phone morphed into a deafening chorus of betrayal and anguish. Each message, each timestamp, and each hidden folder served as an irrefutable reminder that the intimacy we had once shared was now irrevocably tainted. I felt the quiet resignation of a soul forced to confront an alternate reality, a reality where trust had been mutilated by deceit and sincerity was forever compromised by secrets too dangerous to ignore. My internal world was divided between nostalgia for the past and the grim acceptance of a future built on fragmented truths. Standing alone in that silent living room, with the muted light casting long shadows on the walls and the battered evidence of a hidden life before me, I experienced an overwhelming epiphany. The conflicting narratives of our shared life and his clandestine existence could not simply coexist. They demanded resolution, no matter the cost. The digital trail that began with a simple, almost accidental discovery had now grown into a formidable force, shaping my every thought and every emotion with its relentless, unforgiving logic. In that pivotal moment, I recognized that some secrets are better left buried, not because they are unimportant, but because their revelation has the power to transform once harmonious relationships into landscapes of despair. In the silence of that overcast afternoon, as the weight of undeniable evidence settled in, I understood that confronting the truth was no longer a matter of choice but an urgent necessity. The intricate narrative woven through countless encrypted texts and hidden images had become the unwelcome architect of my new reality. It was a reality where nothing was as it seemed, where familiar faces wore the masks of hidden strangers, and where every laugh, every smile, and every tender gesture was now inflected with the bitter taste of betrayal. This was the story of a life unraveled, a life disassembled by the clandestine existence I had inadvertently discovered through the enigmatic screen of a second phone. Now, as I reflect on the harrowing journey that began with a muffled vibration and culminated in a confrontation with a hidden truth, I see that the path of discovery is rarely linear or kind. It winds through unforeseen corridors of the heart and mind, leading us to truths that can both enlighten and devastate. The experience has taught me that secrets, no matter how carefully concealed, possess a way of emerging into the light eventually, a truth that is as ancient as it is inevitable. And though the confrontation that awaited me was shrouded in pain and uncertainty, it was also a necessary step toward understanding the full, complex tapestry of a life that had, until then, remained blissfully ignorant of its own shadows. In the quiet aftermath of that fateful day, the echoes of betrayal still reverberate within me like a persistent refrain. I am left to reconcile the memories of a shared past with the stark, unyielding facts delivered by that second phone. The digital breadcrumbs have irrevocably redrawn the map of my understanding, transforming the home that once symbolized comfort and trust into a place of contemplation and sorrow. And yet, amidst the ruins of what was, I also find the courage to face what must come next, a future built not on illusions of perfection, but on the acceptance of truth in all its painful complexity. This journey, as deeply personal as it is universally cautionary, serves as a reminder that every life holds secrets, some small and innocuous, others monumental and life-altering. The quiet vibration of that night awakened not only a series of hidden messages but also an inner resolve to seek authenticity, even when the truth is shattering and unwelcome. It has become painfully clear that while the past may be filled with comforting memories and familiar smiles, the present often demands that we confront the uncomfortable realities that lie beneath the surface. And so, as I now chart a course for the future, I do so with the somber understanding that trust is fragile, and the threads of truth, once pulled, can unravel the very fabric of our existence. In the end, what remained after the surge of digital revelations and the painful confrontation was a poignant mixture of loss, reflection, and the tentative hope of rebuilding a life more honest than before. The discrete existence of a second phone was not only an emblem of hidden truths, it was also the catalyst for a painful journey towards self-discovery and reconciliation. The echoes of every clandestine message and secret encounter continue to whisper in the recesses of my memory, a constant reminder that sometimes the most devastating truths are those that emerge when we least expect them. Even now, as the storm of betrayal has subsided into a heavy, lingering calm, I carry with me the lesson that some secrets, once unearthed, have the power to transform identities and redefine relationships. The digital trail left behind by that forgotten phone has become an indelible part of my story, a chapter marked by heartache, but also by the inexorable pursuit of truth. In this bittersweet narrative of love, deception, and rediscovery, I now understand that the quest for authenticity, though fraught with pain, is the only path that leads to a future where trust can once again slowly be built, brick by painful brick. Thus, I move forward with the resolve to embrace the unvarnished truth of life, acknowledging that every secret has its place in shaping us, even when its revelation comes at a steep cost. The second phone, with all its hidden histories and encrypted warnings, serves as a permanent reminder that no matter how carefully we try to curate our realities, life will always find a way to surprise us, to challenge our perceptions, and to force us to confront the parts of ourselves we hope to keep hidden. And even in the aftermath of such profound betrayal, the road ahead, though uncertain and shadowed by past hurts, beckons with the promise of renewal and the possibility of courage born from the darkest depths of despair. In the final reckoning, as I piece together the remnants of a life once defined by shared dreams and refined promises, I realize that the secrets that lie hidden behind locked screens and whispered confidences are not just reminders of betrayal. They are also catalysts for transformation. They compel us to question everything we once held true and demand that we forge our paths in the light of a freshly revealed, if painful, reality. And while the scars of deception may linger long after the digital echoes have faded, they also serve as markers of a journey that invites us to embrace our authentic selves, regardless of the cost. Now, in the quiet solitude of an evening lit only by the soft glow of twilight, I find solace not in the false comfort of ignorance but in the relentless pursuit of truth. The long and winding road that led me from that first mysterious vibration to the deconstruction of a life built on deceit has taught me that sometimes the most devastating discoveries are also the ones that ultimately grant us the power to rebuild. The second phone, a silent messenger of secrets emerged from the shadows, revealed a painful, undeniable truth. That trust, once shattered, leaves behind an intricate mosaic of memories, regrets, and the faint yet persistent hope for redemption. The narrative of my husband's hidden life, a tale inscribed in encrypted messages and clandestine rendezvous, may have unraveled the delicate fabric of our shared existence, but it has also laid bare the raw, unfiltered essence of reality. And in that reality, amidst the scattered shards of betrayal and the echoing silence of once believed truths, lies the potential for a new beginning, a beginning defined not by the comforting illusions of the past, but by the honest, if painful, acceptance of every truth that life chooses to reveal. Every day, as I navigate the aftermath of that transformative night, I carry with me both the melancholy of what has been lost and the cautious optimism for what may yet be reclaimed. The second phone, with its cryptic content and undeniable evidence of a hidden existence, will forever remain a symbol of a turning point, a moment when the steady hum of routine was replaced by a jarring, irrevocable confrontation with the truth. And while the path forward is undeniably fraught with challenges and lingering shadows, it is also paved with the determination to rebuild trust, to find solace in authenticity, and to rise, however broken, into a newfound strength. In this intricate tapestry of love, betrayal, and the quest for self-understanding, I now stand at a crossroads. The echoes of the past mingle with the uncertain murmurs of the future, each whisper urging me toward a life rooted in truth, no matter how painful the foundation may be. And so, as I continue to traverse this fragile, uncharted territory, I do so with the undeniable understanding that while some secrets are better left buried, others must be unearthed to pave the way for true healing and honest rebirth. The journey from ignorance to revelation, from comfort to confrontation, has irrevocably altered the contours of my inner world. The digital trail left behind by that long-hidden phone, once a mere curiosity, has become the silent architect of a history that will shape every step I take from now on. In the quiet aftermath of that tumultuous discovery, where each shadow carries the memory of deception and every silent moment echoes with the weight of truth, I find myself compelled to move onward with a heart both heavy and hopeful, a heart that has learned that even in the depths of betrayal, there lies the possibility of transformation, redemption, and the courage to embrace a future founded on self-discovery and the relentless pursuit of authenticity. And so, under the dim light of a retreating day and with the haunting memories of encrypted whispers etched deep into my soul, I close one chapter of a deeply hidden double life while cautiously preparing to pen the first lines of a new narrative, one where truth, in all its resplendent agony and brilliance, guides me toward a future that is mine to rebuild, piece by fragile piece.